Thunderstorm Artis had always carried music like a quiet fire inside him, steady, warm, and impossible to ignore. So when he stepped onto the American Idol stage this season, many fans were caught by surprise. After all, Thunderstorm wasn't a newcomer to the world of TV competitions. Years earlier, he had earned national attention on The Voice, captivating millions with his soulful tone and gentle storyteller's heart. Now older, wiser, and ready for a new chapter, he was reflecting not just on his journey, but on how The Voice had shaped the artist who now stood under the bright Idol lights. In a sunny corner of the Idol rehearsal studio, Thunderstorm sat with his guitar resting against his knee. The room smelled of sawdust and new carpet, the kind of space where dreams were made fresh. He strummed a few chords, the melody soft, almost reflective. "Being back on a show like this," he said slowly, "reminds me of how far I've come since The Voice. I was younger then, excited, nervous. I didn't know who I was yet, not fully. But that show helped me find my footing." During his season on The Voice, Thunderstorm became an instant fan favorite. His performances were the kind that made audiences hold their breath, earthy, honest, and electric without needing to be loud. He brought stories to life through music, weaving heartbreak and hope into every note. His run on the show earned him a devoted following, but what many didn't see was how much the experience changed him behind the scenes. "There's a moment," he recalled, eyes drifting as if replaying the memory, "when you walk onto the stage and everything is dark except one narrow beam of light. I remember thinking, this is my chance. This is the moment all those years of practicing in my bedroom led to. The Voice taught me to trust that moment." Though he didn't walk away with the crown that season, Thunderstorm considered the outcome a blessing disguised as heartbreak. The exposure launched new opportunities, festivals, recording sessions, collaborations, and helped him understand the kind of artist he wanted to become. Not someone chasing trends, but someone making music that made the world feel a little more human. But Thunderstorm was quick to clarify. American Idol wasn't a redo of his past, it was an expansion. "People ask me why I'd come back to the competition world," he said, chuckling softly. "They say, didn't you already do this? But to me, music is a lifelong journey. I didn't come to Idol to try again. I came because I'm not the same person I was on The Voice, and I want the world to know who I am now." And this time around, he wasn't the wide-eyed newcomer swept up in the whirlwind of live TV. He was grounded, confident, and thoughtful, an artist who had seen the industry's highs and lows and still believed in the magic of a song well sung. One of the Idol producers who had been a fan of him even before he auditioned shared an anecdote. During his first rehearsal, Thunderstorm played a stripped-back rendition of a soulful folk tune. The room went still. The producer whispered afterward, "It's like he brings the outside world in. You feel like you're sitting on a porch somewhere, listening to someone unravel their life story." That quality, raw emotional connection, was what Thunderstorm learned to embrace during his time on The Voice. "I used to be scared of being vulnerable," he admitted. "The Voice coaches were the ones who taught me vulnerability isn't weakness. It's clarity. It's power. It's the difference between singing a note and telling a truth." Thunderstorm talked warmly of the friendships he made on The Voice, the late-night jam sessions in hotel hallways, the shared nerves before live shows, and the encouragement from coaches who saw something special in him. "One coach told me, 'People don't just listen to your voice, they lean into it.' I'll never forget that." But there was something deeper lingering beneath his reflections, gratitude. Not for fame or exposure or competition placements, but for the sense of purpose the journey gave him. After The Voice, Thunderstorm took time away from TV shows, focusing on writing, touring, and rediscovering the joy of creating music without cameras watching. He married, traveled, and developed the kind of inner stillness that artists spend years chasing. Then American Idol approached him. "It felt right," he said simply. "Idol has a different energy. It's huge, sure, but it's also very personal. They want you to dig into your story, your heart. They want the audience to know you." During his preliminary audition, he performed an original song, something he'd been nervous to do on national television. The judges listened, rapt. When he finished, The room was silent for a beat before erupting into applause. One judge told him, "You sing like someone who's lived many lifetimes." That, Thunderstorm said with a smile, meant everything. As he prepared for the next round of idol performances, Thunderstorm felt the old nerves creeping in, those familiar butterflies that come with wanting to give the world something meaningful. But this time, he wasn't wrestling with doubt. He was embracing the moment. "The voice gave me courage," he said. "Idol is giving me clarity." He reflected again on how different his life was now compared to those early days. Back then, he was simply hopping to make it beyond the blinds. Today, he knew he belonged on a stage, any stage. But perhaps Thunderstorm's most moving reflection was this. We talk a lot about winning these shows. We talk about careers and charts and titles. But honestly, the biggest win is learning who you are under pressure. If you can stay true to yourself when millions are watching, you can stay true anywhere. As he reached for his guitar again, the last rays of afternoon light spilled across the studio floor. Thunderstorm played a soft, humming chord, a promise, a beginning, and a reflection all at once. "You know," he said, "I'm grateful for the voice. It taught me how to stand. Idol is teaching me how to fly." And with that, he began to sing, quietly, soulfully, like a man unafraid to let the world hear his heart.